Hey guys, so we're going to talk about a Dynamo script for automatically placing stamps on sheets. It's a very simple script, and the idea is that it's going to look at a sheet, it's going to get the revision information, it's going to look for IFC, and then if it contains IFC, then it'll not place a stamp on that sheet. And then we'll dump that into a filter by bool mask. And then, in this example, it'll give us a empty list and then an element or a list that contains a revision and then another empty list. And then we just simply do a is empty, which will give us our true or false statements that we can just tie directly into the value for our set parameter node. So really easy to do. We'll jump in the Dynamo script and take a look at that. But in this example, you can see it has not for construction stamp just placed right there. In the title block, this is just some text with a filled region and it just has a parameter set to it called like IFC. And I'll have to jump into Dynamo to take a look at that. But just to get tested out, we'll click on the title block, and then over here to the left, we'll just click the NFC. It'll turn it off, and then it'll turn it back on because the Dynamo script is set to automatic. So now we'll just take a look at the Dynamo script and kind of see what's going on there. So starting at the beginning, I am using a package, the ArchiLab package, and sheet revision and revision properties. Those are the two nodes that we're using from ArchiLab. And then, yeah, and that's it. So those are the two nodes from the ArchiLab package. And then if you're using Revit 2020 and you open up Dynamo and then open up this script, it should tell you if you're missing that package. If not, you could always go up to the View tab and then show Graph Package Dependencies, which will pop up this extension over here, which will tell you exactly which package you need for this script. And then also those scripts that are aired out, you could always right click on it and see what's going on. So the first bit I do is do category sheets, all elements of category, and then sheet revision. So this is going to give me all the sheet revisions per each sheet. And you can see I get a list. So I get a list of two lists and then the revisions pertaining to those sheets or, the list. And then what I do is I just get the properties. So like I said before, I was gonna do if contains IFC, then give me just a list of booleans, and then we can just tie that into a filter by bool mask. But here you can see in sheet 1 we have no IFC. Sheet 2 we have an IFC, and in sheet 3 there's just nothing. It's an empty list. So we dump that into string contains. You can see false, false for everything, and then false, false, and then true right at the last one. So you can see IFC right there. And then over here, what our output, the N output, is a empty list because it did not get any true statements over here. A list of one revision, which is that IFC revision on sheet 2, and then an empty list. Now we need the structure, so we need to keep the structure. So, don't do a list flattener or anything like that, because we need the structure to stay intact. So, we need those empty lists. We need the revision, and we need the last empty list in this example. And then because it's looking at every single sheet regardless on if it has revisions or not, and it's just giving us a empty list for the ones that do not have any IFC revisions. And then for list 1, it does have a revision, but and it has an element in it, but all we're doing after this is we're doing a list is empty. And if it is empty, give me a true. If it contains anything, give me a false. And then again, this last one's empty, so it gives me a true. So when this last node so it's element set parameter by name, NFC stamp, which is just a yes no parameter, so a true false. And then categories, title block, all elements of category. So it just grabs the title blocks and then gets that NFC stamp parameter that we looked at in Revit. And then, so the first sheet, it says, okay, there's no IFC stamp, so true. We're gonna set the value for the NFC stamp true, which is gonna place the stamp on the sheet. And then in this list, it says, okay, there's IFC revision, so false. This list is not empty. And then it goes in and it turns that parameter to false, which will turn the stamp off. And then true again, because it did not find the IFC revision on that sheet, so it's going to set that IFC stamp to be on. And then, so if we minimize this and take a look, we'll start with the first sheet. We can see, okay, this is true. It is an empty list. It did not have an IFC on it, so it's set the stamp on there. This section, or this second sheet, it has revision, it has IFC, so it's, it was true, it did have an element in it. So is the sheet empty? No. False, so it's going to feed in that false parameter to the set parameter node, which is going to set the title block's NFC stamp parameter to off. And then the last one, which has absolutely no revisions on it, still puts a not for construction stamp because it is it's an empty list, so it reads out as true, and then we feed that into the parameter, or they set by parameter name, and then you can see true for an NFC stamp. So that's it, and you can do a lot of cool things with that. You can, go in there and add revisions to sheets. You can remove revisions, from a sheet. You can potentially add an entirely new revision. Turn off clouds and tags per that sheet. I mean, there's a lot of functionality you can add and improve on. You could leverage data shapes so that you could build some type of interface to this script, so that if users find this really useful and want to use it, they could, but they don't know Dynamo, they can, have it's just a little bit more user friendly for them. I mean, so there's a lot of cool things that you can add to this, and I would love to know if you do. Just share in the comments and say, I've taken it to this level, I've done this with it, or I'm already using something like this already. I'd love to know, but hopefully this helped you out or gave you some ideas of something that you can build or take a little bit further. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.